If you have recently been told your blood sugar is creeping up, or your A1C has crossed into the pre-diabetic range, there is a 99% chance your doctor handed you a photocopied pamphlet and told you to eat less and move more. They probably told you to cut your calories, watch your fat, and spend an hour on the treadmill. And if you are over 60, I can almost guarantee you tried it. You starved yourself. You exhausted yourself. And not only did the stubborn weight around your middle refuse to budge, but your next blood test showed your numbers were exactly the same, or even worse. If this has happened to you, I need you to listen to me very carefully, and I need you to forgive yourself right now. You are not failing the diet. The diet is biologically failing you. The standard medical advice of eat less and move more is a catastrophic misunderstanding of how your metabolism actually works after 60. Today, I am going to explain the uncompromising science of why starving your body actually accelerates insulin resistance. More importantly, I am going to give you the exact, peer-reviewed, 3-step biological protocol to fix the broken lock on your cells and reverse this condition without ever feeling hungry. I am Dr. Linda Sophie. Let's get right into it. To fix insulin resistance, we first have to understand the brilliant, microscopic machinery inside your body. Think of your cells like a house, and insulin is the finger pressing the doorbell. When you eat, insulin presses the doorbell, the door opens, and the blood sugar goes inside to be burned for energy. But over decades of living in a modern food environment, wrapped in chronic stress and shifting hormones, that doorbell gets gunked up. It stops working. So what does your pancreas do? It doesn't stop sending insulin. It just presses the doorbell harder. It sends out massive, surging amounts of insulin to try and force the door open. This is called hyperinsulinemia. Here is the medical secret your doctor didn't have time to explain in your 15-minute appointment. Insulin is not just a blood sugar hormone. It is your body's master storage hormone. When insulin levels are high in your bloodstream, a biological switch called AMPK is forced into the off position. When AMPK is off, your body is chemically locked out of burning fat. It is biologically impossible to burn belly fat when your insulin is surging. So, when you go on a severe calorie-restricted diet to lose weight, but you do nothing to lower your baseline insulin, your body panics. It thinks you are starving in a famine. Since it can't burn your fat stores because the insulin lock is still engaged, it does the only thing it can do to survive. It slows your thyroid down. It crashes your daily energy. And it starts breaking down your precious muscle tissue for fuel. You become tired, weak, and metabolically slower. The medical term for this is sarcopenic obesity, and the standard diet pipeline pushes millions of seniors directly into it. Let me tell you about Susan. Susan was 62 years old. She was diagnosed with prediabetes and panicked. She started eating tiny bowls of oatmeal for breakfast, a salad with no dressing for lunch, and walking 3 miles a day. Over 4 months, she felt completely miserable. She was losing her hair, and her A1C went from 5.8 to 6.0. She was doing exactly what the pamphlet told her to do, and she was getting sicker. Susan's doctor blamed her, assuming she was secretly eating junk food. But Susan wasn't cheating. She was suffering from a missing biological link. We took her off the starvation diet and implemented a precise protocol to fix the cellular doorbell. Within 12 weeks, her A1C dropped to 5.4. She lost 9 pounds of pure fat, and she ate more food than she had in a decade. Here is exactly how we did it. And the 3 steps you need to know to take control of your own metabolism. Step 1 is addressing a hidden cellular deficiency with a molecule called Myo-Inositol. Myo-Inositol is a naturally occurring sugar alcohol that acts as a secondary messenger inside your cells. If insulin is the finger pressing the doorbell, inositol is the wire carrying the signal from the doorbell to the lock. In people with insulin resistance, that wire is degraded. Clinical trials, including extensive data published by the Endocrine Society, show that supplementing with myo-inositol significantly improves insulin sensitivity and lowers fasting insulin levels. When you purchase this, you must look for a highly specific formulation. Do not just buy generic inositol. You want a product that clearly states it contains a 40:1 ratio of myo-inositol to dichiro-inositol. This specific 40-to-1 ratio matches the exact physiological ratio found in healthy human plasma. Taking 2,000 milligrams of this combination daily acts like biological WD-40 for your cell doors. Step 2 is exploiting the GLUT4 backdoor. In our last video, we talked about GLUT4 transporters. These are the loading docks on your muscle cells where sugar enters. Normally, insulin has to open them. But your body has a magnificent built-in override system. When you contract a muscle under resistance, the GLUT4 doorways open independently of insulin. Muscle contraction physically forces the doors open, vacuuming the sugar out of your blood without needing the pancreas to scream. This means a 15-minute brisk walk, or simply doing 10 wall push-ups and some air squats immediately after dinner, is infinitely more effective for your blood sugar than starving yourself all day. You must use your muscles as a glucose sink. Stop focusing on long, exhausting cardio that raises your stress hormone, cortisol. Focus on brief, post-meal movement and lifting heavy things to build muscle mass. Muscle is the armor that protects you from diabetes. Step 3 is anchoring your blood sugar with a protein threshold. When you eat carbohydrates alone, your blood sugar spikes and insulin surges to chase it. When you anchor those carbohydrates with high-quality protein and healthy fats, you flatten the curve. The digestion slows down. The insulin release becomes a gentle slope instead of a violent spike. For an adult over 60, the literature is crystal clear. You need significantly more protein than you did in your 30s just to maintain the muscle you currently have. You should be aiming for a minimum of 30 grams of protein at every single meal. If your breakfast is just a piece of toast and a banana, you are setting yourself up for an insulin roller coaster that will leave you exhausted and storing fat by 2 p.m. Before you start any new protocol, particularly if you are currently taking metformin, glipizide, or any injected blood sugar medications, you must speak with your physician. Because as this protocol begins to heal your insulin sensitivity, your medication dosages will likely need to be adjusted downward to prevent your blood sugar from going too low. Here is your defense shield for your next appointment. Write these down. First, ask your doctor. Can we test my fasting insulin level alongside my A1C so we can see the full picture of my metabolic resistance? Second, tell them, I am interested in adding a 40-to-1 ratio of Myo and Myo-Inositol to my daily routine to support my cellular signaling. Is there any contraindication with my current medications? And third, ask, if I commit to building muscle and flattening my glucose spikes with protein, what is our exact plan to safely taper down my prescription medications as my numbers improve? You do not have to accept a slow decline into metabolic disease, and you absolutely do not have to spend your golden years starving on bird food. Your body wants to heal. It just needs the right biological instructions. Leave a comment below right now. Tell me if you have ever been handed that Eat Less and Move More pamphlet and how it made you feel. I read every single one. If this information empowered you today, please hit the subscribe button. Next week, I am exposing the 3 common health foods heavily marketed to seniors that actually spike your insulin worse than a candy bar. You probably have at least one of them in your pantry right now. I am Dr. Linda Sophie. Do not settle for outdated advice. Take care of yourself, and I will see you next week.